Yo, what is good YouTube? I am Richard Kim, and today I'm going to be bringing you all the performance review on the Adidas Adizero Select 2.0. Before we get started, if you all enjoy sneaker content just like this, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below, and also hit that bell notification button so you never miss another video just like this one. But anyways, let's get right into it. As always, starting off with the traction, the Adizero Select 2.0 features like this wavy traction pattern in the front half of the shoe and this line traction pattern in the rear half of the shoe. And you know, the traction pattern is very identical or very similar to what was featured in the Dame 4. And I did a performance review on that shoe a long time ago, so I honestly don't remember how the traction performed on that shoe. But in this case, on this particular pair, the traction was just okay. If you are playing on your clean courts, you are going to have no problems whatsoever. You will have some really good bites. If you are playing on your dustier courts, however, like your 24-hour fitness, LA Fitness, your local gym courts, you know, that type of deal, I would say that this definitely is not the best. I did slide to a stop like pretty frequently, even after wiping, and I did actually slide out a couple of times as well, but only like twice, maybe 3 times. I don't really remember, but it did happen. So just keep that in mind if you are playing with these on those dustier courts. But yeah, I mean, you know, even after wiping, you do kind of like slide to a stop. You might have a couple of good stops like here and there, but I would say like just pretty frequently, it would more so often be a slide to a stop rather than a hard stop on those dustier courts. As far as outdoor usage goes, this rubber is fairly soft, I would say, and obviously, you know, there aren't a lot of grooves. So definitely, you know, refrain from playing with these outdoors unless you really have to, because once these grooves are gone, I mean, you're not gonna have any traction. So yeah, overall traction on the shoe was just okay. Clean courts, you're gonna be fine, but dusty courts, you're gonna be sliding to stops. So moving on to the cushion, the Adizero Select 2.0 features a full-length light strike midsole, and the light strike in here is very thin. I would say that this is definitely a very responsive feeling shoe. You feel very low to the ground. You don't get that much impact protection. You don't get that much like bounce out of this shoe. This is a pretty responsive shoe. I mean, what can I say? Like even in the heel, you don't get that much like light strike. It's a pretty thin midsole even for the heel, and then in the forefoot, you know, it thins out even more. You do get a very slight compression in the heel, but more so I would say this is definitely just responsive. It's a very responsive setup. So if you want a lot of impact protection out of your shoes, this is definitely not the way to go. If you want to feel very quick on your feet, then yeah, this is great. Your movements feel very immediate in the shoe, and you feel very low to the ground. So if you like to be quick and shifty, then this is a match made in heaven for you. But yeah, for me, you know, I do wish that, you know, the light strike was a little bit thicker, but I understand what they were going for here, so I'm okay with it. But yeah, it would have been nicer if, you know, we felt a little bit more light strike rather than just feeling like a kind of dead cushion setup. So moving on to the materials, the Adizero Select 2.0 features like this mesh material, but it's different in the fact that it's like kind of fused together with like a plastic material as well. It almost feels like a combination of some sort of textile and fuse just like put together. And from a material standpoint, I mean, obviously from a quality perspective, it doesn't feel the most premium, but in terms of the performance, it gets the job done very well. The materials are very light, very breathable, and it doesn't really compromise like any support features, which I'll get to later on. So yeah, I mean, you know, from a performance aspect, it's actually very nice. As you move towards the back, you do have like more mesh and more textile, and you do have like this heel loop, I guess, which is like kind of like a fake nubuck. As you move towards the tongue, you do have like a standard mesh tongue, and it's pretty nice. They kind of like accentuated the tongue with like pillows, and the extra puffy areas go in between where the laces go. So it kind of just gives you a nice like streamlined fit, I would say. And yeah, I mean, the tongue isn't like the most padded tongue in my opinion, at least where the laces are, but it still does a decent job of making sure you don't feel that lace pressure if you do like to crank down your laces. Another thing I forgot to mention is on the toe, you do have like this felt material on the toe box as well. I guess it's just here for added durability, but I mean, it is like that felt material and it just doesn't feel that great. But yeah, overall in terms of the materials, performance-wise, it's great. It gets the job done very well. In terms of the quality, definitely not the best feeling. So moving on to the fit, I would say that these do run just slightly big. I don't know if I personally would be able to go down a half size because I do have slightly wide feet. And as a slightly wide footer, I'd say that these felt actually pretty good. I didn't have any pinching pain in the forefoot area. It actually felt very, very comfortable. Lengthwise, like I said, it might be just a tad bit long, but that's okay because it didn't really affect the overall fit for me. This shoe does feature a half booty, so it is connected, so it does give you a better one-to-one fit. So my recommendation overall for the fit is if you guys have slightly wide feet or wider feet, I would suggest you all go true to size. If you do have narrow feet or normal feet, I think going down a half size is probably the best bet for you. If you have really wide feet, maybe go up a half size, but then you might be swimming in the shoe, at least in terms of the length. So yeah, just make sure you get your right size and you should be good. But just to reiterate, slightly wide feet, go true to size, and narrow footers and normal footers, go down a half size. So moving on to the support, I really only had one issue with the support in the shoe, and that comes from the heel. I did have very, very slight heel slippage in both my shoes actually, not just my right shoe this time, it happened in both. And whether that's, attributed to me going up a half size or me going true to size instead of going down a half size, can't really say because obviously I don't have it, but I don't think so. I think it's just the overall heel area. It doesn't fit my heel very well. So yeah, like I said, I did have very slight heel slippage, but I never had any instances of my heel or my foot actually slipping out of the shoe, which is a good thing. But when it comes to the containment on the footbed, I didn't have any side-to-side movement on the footbed. It did a very good job of making sure my foot was nice and planted. When it comes to those hard lateral movements, this is a very wide base and this midsole does protrude out to act as an outrigger. And you also have this rubber piece here that acts as an outrigger as well, just to make sure you aren't rolling over on those movements. And then when it comes to torsional rigidity and stability, you do have an internal shank plate. I wouldn't say it is the most stiff or rigid. As you can see, I can twist and turn this, but it is more than enough to make sure that you are covered on that front. So as far as the support goes in here, I would say that it is good, but just watch out for that heel slippage. Even though it is very minor, that is just, something in the back of your head and it can get a little bit annoying at times. So the Adizero Select 2.0 retails for $110. And for $110, I wouldn't say that this is a bad shoe or anything, but there are definitely, comparable shoes in this price point and maybe even slightly cheaper that I think are vastly better in terms of the performance. For me, really, the only things that I really did not like about the shoe is the traction could have been better on dust. That little bit of heel slippage is a little annoying. And then also the light strike, it is just very minimal in terms of how they implemented the light strike in the shoe. I wish I felt it a little bit more than, how it actually feels. But yeah, I mean, this is still a good shoe. Like if you want to feel very quick on your feet, this is a great shoe. Not only is it super responsive and low to the ground feeling, but this is extremely lightweight. And if you like feeling like you almost have nothing on your feet, then this is a great shoe because honestly, it is that light. It feels like almost as nothing is there. So that's, a very big pro to the shoe is the weight. And yeah, I mean, if you want something like that, then grab a pair. I'll leave a link for you down in the description box below if you are interested in copying a pair of these. But yeah, for me, this is just something that I personally would not keep in my rotation. I think there are better shoes out there around the same price. So yeah, That's just my personal stance on this shoe though. That's pretty much it for this performance review. If you all like this video, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below, and also smash that thumbs up button for me, as it really does help me out. While you all are at it, check out these videos over here, and that's pretty much it. Until next time, peace.